So, it seems that Metacritic is bending the knee. Well, who's really surprised? Over The Last of Us Part 2. Because, you know, gotta lick that corporate boots! This is the last Jedi of gaming. This really is. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, it seems that Metacritic is going to start switching things up, and they're going to start changing how things go with user reviews. And here's the big thing about this is that this is what game journalists like IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, and many other shills for the industry, this is what they want. They want to silence the consumer. That's what they want so that their voices are the only voices people listen to. They want to be the ones people go to, and they're so out of touch, but they keep thinking, oh, we're relevant. We're totally relevant. Yeah, no. No, you're not. And that's why gamers go to the user score reviews, because those are the ones that really tell the real story. Because, when you look at these shills that give 10 out of 10 masterpiece, stunning and brave reviews for Last of Us Part 2, for example, it really shows you that you can't trust game journalists. And here's the thing, it seems that Metacritic is bending the knee now because of The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 may have encouraged Metacritic to address its review bombing problem. Oh, yeah, here we go again. Of course. This is looking more and more like The Last Jedi of video games. I mean, that's basically what this is. This is The Last Jedi of video games. Review bombing has been somewhat of an issue on Metacritic for a long time. However, it arguably hit a new low once The Last of Us Part 2 released last month. Within hours of the sequel's launch, people who hadn't even played the game were overwhelming Metacritic's user reviews with absurdly low scores. Oh, of course you say the low scores, but like many other articles out there, they don't bring up the 10 out of 10 stunning and brave reviews. They don't bring up how there was also those being thrown out there massively, but that goes against the narrative. So, of course, they're not going to bring that up. Which, those 10 out of 10 reviews, yeah, that's a problem because this game is certainly not a 10 out of 10. Definitely not. And they don't bring that up, though. Of course not. Now, it seems the review website is taking matters into its own hands by not allowing users to review titles on launch day. A post on Reset Era, Reset Era, you can't trust them at all, that user reviews on Superluminal, which just came to PS4 on July 4th, are not available at present. Well, that's interesting. Please spend some time playing the game. Reads a tag with a Superluminal Metacritic page. Now, when you look at the page here, of course, you can see that, nothing is up here yet. So this was actually true, though, crazy enough. But they're waiting for people to post a day later. But here's the problem, is that, whenever it comes to people wanting to look up user reviews because you can't trust critics, thing of it is that, people look up user reviews so they can see from what people stated early. I mean, and that kind of gives them a clue on whether they want to get the game or not, whether they're interested, even if it's just like an early review. That is something that can really bring people into wanting the game or not. But of course, now that they want to cut that out, that's not looking good, which could get to the point where they're going to have critic reviews first, and then, after that, they're going to have user reviews, trying to cut those out. That's a big thing to think about, which I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If they start making it to where only the critics can review it once the game comes out, and then they wait like about a few days to a week or so, then the users are allowed to have their reviews. I would not be surprised in the slightest to see that happen. And that would be terrible if that happens, because, that's exactly what critics want. They want their voices to be heard, and they want actual gamers to just be completely insignificant. They want to shut them out and kick them out, and that's not right. User reviews are very important, but of course, they're going to try to spin it like, oh, they're terrible, they're trolls, or horrible. That's what they always do. Will this solve the review bombing issue at large? It seems unlikely. Trolls probably don't mind having to wait a couple of days. I mean, if you look at it, when the leaks happened, people were very upset, and understandably so, over The Last of Us Part 2. And of course, when they were able to state their opinions on it, they did. So waiting a few months as opposed to waiting a day or two, when you look at it, it's not going to be any different. Their opinions are going to be what their opinions are. That's just how it is. And them trying to say that this appears to be a step in the right direction, however. Of course, they're going to say that because, they want to silence user reviews, which is absolutely disgusting. I mean, you can't even trust critics. So, that's why people go to user reviews. Game journalism, people don't like it and they don't trust it because they don't represent gamers. They don't represent what they claim to stand for. All they represent is their narrative. That's it. They don't care about gamers. They don't care about video games. They're just a bunch of talentless hacks that sit over there and lick the corporate boots. That's all they do. And that's all they care about. Review bombing isn't all that plagues the discourse surrounding The Last of Us Part 2. The title's cast and crew have been subjects of online abuse for the last few weeks. Laura Bailey, who plays Abby, has received terrible things, for example. And here's what I'll say about that. I saw this, and, there's no reason to do that. I think that's awful. Don't go out there and send these terrible things to people. There's no reason for it. You have to also remember, it's not the voice actor's fault for the way the characters are written, so don't go and attack these people. That's just not right. It's not good to send messages like that. I completely disagree with that. I mean, if you want to state your displeasure, that's fine, but don't go and send, terrible messages like that to, people. That's just not, that never solves anything. But the situation is just like with Rotten Tomatoes when you look at it, back with the whole Captain Marvel issue. And if you recall those events, the big thing about that is like, look at The Rise of Skywalker, for example. That stayed at an 86, despite the fact that people did not really like the movie. Well, at least some of them didn't. There were some that did. But there were so many reviews that were coming in that were just so stunning and brave, stuff like that. So, of course, they changed things up when it came to Captain Marvel, though. So, this is what was stated about this. Rotten Tomatoes is introducing verified ratings and reviews to its audience score system in an effort to prevent review bombing. The site now displays an overall audience score based on ratings from users we've confirmed bought tickets to the movie. The update will also allow Rotten Tomatoes team to tag written reviews from users we can confirm purchased tickets. Now, see, this is what I think is going to happen. If you look at what happened with Rotten Tomatoes and see how Metacritic is going to bend the knee, well, here's the thing. Since Metacritic's going to do this, the big thing is that I wouldn't be surprised if Metacritic starts having a system much like what Rotten Tomatoes has done here. This would not surprise me if they're going to try to find ways to verify it, or if they just try to cut out user reviews until the week after, so that they try to make the user reviews completely irrelevant. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Metacritic do that. That would be absolutely terrible. And, that would be something the critics would completely love because that's exactly what they want. They want to be the only voice. They want to shut out anybody else, and they want to be the only voice you go to. That's why game journalism is so slimy and disgusting. And, it's a cowardly tactic as well because it's like, oh, let's shut out the consumers and let's kick out their voices. Any company that thinks that that's a good idea is very pathetic and cowardly, in my opinion. If they think that they're going to just shut out consumer reviews because they think differently about the game, because they didn't like the game. I think that that's just cowardly and just sad. But if we go to the Metascore and the user score, I want to talk about the user score because I've noticed something. I did a little bit of research on this. And so if you look at the positive ratings now, it went to a 5.3. And here's the thing, if you look at it, the positive reviews are now outweighing the negative reviews. When we saw the negative reviews, they used to outweigh the positive. So what happened here exactly? This is a bit strange now, isn't it? Now, we know Metacritic has been deleting reviews, but now that we're starting to see more and more positive ones, this is the one thing that these articles don't talk about, is the 10 out of 10s, as I stated. They don't talk about how that's a problem also. Well, when you look at it, here's the big thing. You'll see a lot of 10 out of 10s. Now, of course, there is one 10 out of 10 that was completely a negative review. Now, I think they probably did that because, they probably had their review completely taken off and deleted. So they didn't want to be silenced. So what they did was they made it a 10. But if you look at all of these other reviews, you could definitely tell that they're fake. I mean, this 10 right here, A masterpiece, continued splendidly, my favorite game, always and always. And like when you see stuff like that little smiley emote right here, when you say stuff like that, to me it looks like one of those, ain't I a stanky? It just kind of makes me think that that person was intentionally trolling to try to make the review go up. That's the way I see it, at least. And I mean, a lot of these reviews are just copy paste from each other. It's just like the critics' reviews where they're copy paste of what they are. And I'm just seeing a lot of it here on Metacritic's user reviews as well. And here's the big thing, you see a good amount of it on June 19th, but there was also a resurgence at July the 1st and July the 3rd, I noticed. So there was a lot of reviews coming into that looked like save the game. So when I saw that positive score outweighing the negative, I thought something was fishy. To me, that just looked very suspicious. And, for good reason, because now that we're seeing a bunch more copy paste reviews, basically, goes to show that this could be. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but it looks like these were more critics trying to come in on the user scores, make new accounts, which wouldn't be surprising considering how many accounts came in when you look back at the Rise of Skywalker to try to protect its score. So I wouldn't be surprised if these were critics that made extra accounts just to come back in and to try to save the score of this game. I wouldn't be shocked. And that's the thing. When you look at it, this is the Last Jedi of video games. The Last of Us Part 2 is the Last Jedi of video games, without a doubt. And I just feel like with Metacritic now, it's going to get worse, and they're going to try to do what they can to silence the user score reviews. And that's not good. That's not right. That's disgusting. And to even possibly put them on hold, which I feel might happen, which would be awful if it does, because, user score reviews are the important ones. At this point, game journalism, they have picked their hill to die on, which is The Last of Us Part 2, and they're completely irrelevant. When you look at it, game journalists, they don't care about gamers. The only thing they care about is themselves and their narrative and licking the corporate boots, and that's all that's important to them. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and make sure you are still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you are still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the news videos will be released, as well as any other updates or events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow can always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.